Religion is a hoax, but I think it was a very positive force for the world. So let me explain. In the past, humans used to bond using gossip. Think about it like this. A while back, I'm talking like 50,000 years ago, when we used to be in tribes, we used to be in our own little group with, our own people. We had little villages around. Everybody had their own village. We bonded using gossip. We bonded using gossip because we used to tell stories about each other. We say, "Oh, look what Jack is doing." Of course, they didn't say Jack. They probably didn't have language then, but they used to bond saying, "Oh, look at Jack. Jack's with someone else's wife. Jack's cheating on his wife. Jack's been leaving home recently," and that's how they get to know each other. Everybody knows stuff about each other, but the thing is, this only builds a limited community. You can only do this with about 100 to 150 people. And some people wanted to grow their communities to very large scale places. Think of Genghis Khan. Genghis Khan is one of the modern individuals who were able to control a large group of people. What he did is he took a religion, he took a belief, and he spread it out everywhere. He conquered using force. He didn't use religion, but the individuals who did use religion were extremely smart. When they had to promote religion a while back, they thought, okay, if I make a lot of individuals believe in some narrative, in some story of their upbringing, of what happened in the past, they will most likely believe it. Because us as humans, we want to know where we come from. We want a purpose at all times. We want to know what we're doing with our lives. And we do that through stories. Everything in your life is a story. Everything you do, every way you communicate, every single action you take is through a story. If we're told to believe a story, we will believe it, whether it's inflicted upon us or not. We all have our own stories to believe. Now, the issue is, in America, religion is most likely needed, simply because everybody believes their own principles are correct. And here's the thing. If we don't have that, everybody is at conflict. But now that we kind of deviated from those, everybody is correct, everybody has their own principles, we can't really tie into what is right and what is wrong. Before, everybody had the same belief, so everybody was able to work with each other, and this was more than 150 people. With a religion, with this belief, you can control hundreds of thousands, millions of people if you put them under the same belief. It's not the same anymore. No one now is bonded by anything except for their own principles. That's why everybody feels extremely lonely. We have come to an individualistic society. We used to be extremely socialist, which meant we always worked with each other. We always found ways to help each other. we knew everything about each other. There's no sense of privacy. But now everybody admires privacy. It's pushed forward in companies. People want Apple products over Samsung because it provides more privacy, whether it does or doesn't. That's what we're aiming for. And because we have this individualistic view on everything, we want freedom. Religion feels like a trap. You have to follow these set of rules, these set of principles. You have to do this, wear this, not cut your hair, XYZ, all that stuff. Now we have freedom. But is this freedom really worth it? Is it worth to have the ability to do whatever you want? This is why you see individuals like Lil Nas X. Do you really think he's a good person for the world? This is why you see, I don't want to push into this, but this is why you see a lot of deviations from what we consider conservative. This sounds like a political thing, but you might see recently, as of recent, a lot of people are pushing for their own individual rights, their own individual way of living life. Before, there was a definition of a man and a woman. A woman knew what she had to do. A man knew what he had to do. You could say this was through religion, sure. But if you had to follow that religion, you would have no way to rise to the top. Because you would be taught to believe that you were nothing, that God is always greater than you. If you believe that, you're always second class to someone. But now we're told to believe that we're the best. And no one believes that. And the few people who do are looked down upon. So I'm going all over the place. So what I'm trying to say is that Individualism is bad, but at the same time, religion is bad. There's a very hard way to describe what is right and what is wrong, because it isn't right or wrong until it's a tested theory. Religion has been tested in the past. It has worked. It's worked for a while. But past a point, people want freedom. During the religious times, during times where religion dominated, there was no sense of innovation. No one was innovating. No one was creating. Once religion was broken, once people started pushing back around the 1700s, 1750, that's when innovation flew up like this. The Enlightenment. That was the Enlightenment. The Enlightenment, ironically, was when individuals thought, okay, this does not make any sense. The Pope says, give me $50,000, you won't go to hell. What? Give me 50,000, you won't go to hell. That sounds like sounds like a banger deal. I'm not even gonna lie. So that means only the rich will be able to escape. People start questioning that. There's no way that's possible. And my theory is that since they broke out of that pattern of thinking, they believed, oh, now I have the free will. I have the ability to think for myself. They start thinking for themselves. Light bulb, the industrial age, the industrial revolution, all these new inventions, country, sovereign identity, all this stuff came together. And now individualism is harming us. We need something greater than religion. We need a belief everyone can be in. We need some principles for men and for women that they can follow and not be so confused. Because we're right now living life very confused. Before we had a set of principles to follow. Now we don't. And only a few individuals are able to choose what principles they choose to follow. The best thing you can do is go to religion. Don't follow the narratives, don't follow the stories, but follow the principles. There are timeless principles across every single religious aspect, which, you know, I'll talk about that in a different one. I'll write it down for you. That they're timeless. None of time can beat it, because to this day, a lot of people apply those. The religious stories might run out. The story of Jesus might run out. The story of Muhammad might run out. Whatever else there is. But the principles are everlasting. Anyone can follow them. Find those principles. And do not be controlled by individualistic desires. Because most of your desires are not your own. They're human desires.